Hey there survivors, how's it going? I'm your host Douglas here at John Boy Productions, bringing you another Trick or Treat Studios mask review. And today we'll be continuing our journey taking a look at many different Trick or Treat Studios products by taking a look at another nightmarish piece from A Nightmare on Elm Street. Trick or Treat Studios offers a wide array of Nightmare on Elm Street products, and we've taken a look at a few of the different Freddy masks that they have to offer. And a majority of the Freddy masks that Trick or Treat Studios does offer try their best to be nice high-end replicas, or at least high-end for mass-produced pieces. Most of those sculptures are trying to replicate the actual makeup worn by Robert Englund as it looked in the film. However, today we're going to be taking a look at a piece that is produced by Trick or Treat Studios, but is not a Trick or Treat Studios original, so it doesn't really fall in line with the rest of their lineup. So go ahead and fill that Hypnosil prescription, grab yourself a cup of coffee, and let's go ahead and dive right in. Because today I'm excited to announce that we're going to be taking a look at the Trick or Treat Studios reissued Elusive Concepts Wes Craven's New Nightmare Freddy Krueger mask. And since this is a new Nightmare mask, we have to ask ourselves, is this even Freddy Krueger? Or is it someone else? If you've already watched the movie, you know what I'm talking about, and if you don't, go watch the movie. I'm not even sure why you're watching this review, but watch the review first, don't leave yet. I think it's fair to say that Wes Craven's New Nightmare is one of the most divisive films in the franchise. Some fans absolutely love it and they herald it as a very creative and unique film, whereas some fans hate how meta it is, and overall just the look of Freddy, as well as some of the other different aspects of the film, and I can completely understand that. Personally, I really do like New Nightmare, though one of the things I've never been completely sold on is the Freddy design. And that is the entire thing overall. Not just the mask that we're taking a look at, but that really weird bio-organic claw. The claw would be really cool if it didn't have that really stupid thumb blade. I don't know why it bothers me so much, but that thumb blade just makes the whole thing look so dumb in my opinion. However, as far as the face is concerned, it is a very unique Freddy look. He has mostly a normal fleshy kind of face. Obviously it looks kind of burnt and discolored, but instead of being all wrinkled and just all these tiny little folds that you're used to seeing on a Freddy mask, you have these large peeled flesh segments revealing muscle underneath. And yet again, a lot of fans really like this look. Personally, I'm just not sold on it. I was never a huge fan of the New Nightmare look. About as close as he gets to being really cool and menacing to me is with the full trench coat on, which I know is even a really weird look for the standard Freddy. But of course, what we're dealing with in New Nightmare is not your standard Freddy. And what we have here is not your standard Freddy Krueger mask. I've mentioned it in a previous video, but I'll go ahead and tell you guys again. For those of you who are huge mask fans and collectors and keep up with all this kind of news, you already know about this, but for those of you who are watching who don't know, Trick or Treat Studios a couple years back bought the rights to a few different mask companies, and with that, they obtained the rights to produce a lot of their different pieces. And out of the many things that were chosen to be reissued, one of them was the New Nightmare Freddy by Elusive Concepts. I don't know if I said Cinema Secrets earlier, pretty sure I said Elusive Concepts, but this is an Elusive Concepts piece originally. So the sculpture we have here is an older Elusive Concepts mask that is now being brought into latex by Trick or Treat Studios modern day. I never owned one of the Elusive Concept versions, and I could be wrong on this, but I'm pretty certain they're vinyl. I want to say I've seen them before, and they do look wildly different from these. The paint job was a lot different. These are much closer to the actual Freddy look than the ones that they produced initially, but overall still isn't really like a movie accurate sculpture, but it does capture the likeness pretty well. Now as far as reviewing the actual mask, let's go ahead and start with the sculpture. It is a pretty basic sculpture. I don't think it really captures the look of Freddy from the movie all that well. Compared to a lot of other mass-produced Freddy masks, I do think it is still better than those, but it is still a pretty basic sculpture. It definitely looks like something that was sculpted in the mid-90s. And I want to say this was like a mid-90s piece or late 90s, early 2000s, somewhere in there. At least the initial one, obviously we're talking about the Trick or Treat Studios reissue. But yeah, sculpture-wise, it's just okay in my opinion. As far as the teeth, they do look pretty good, which is something they do get the most wrong on Freddy masks typically, so I'll give them kudos there. The flesh, itself is decently textured, not heavily textured, not a lot of wrinkles, and the peeled back exposed muscle here looks kind of bland. It's not too great, but the worst part of it in general are the eyes. In my opinion, I think the eyes just look really rough on this, and I would honestly be willing to wager that if you cut the eyeballs themselves out and just had the rest of the mask, I think it might look a little bit better. But of course, they do typically keep the eyes in for something like this so that it does represent the character while it's on display, rather than it's supposed to be the makeup. Which of course, any actual movie makeup that's moving with the actor, like something with Freddy, is going to be pretty hard to translate into latex into a solid, stiff mask and make it really work well. Now, as far as the paint job on this thing, I think it is a vast improvement over the original. If you've ever seen one of the originals, it has a very dark, odd-looking paint job, and the red that they use for the muscle that's exposed is pretty flat, just flat red. It's nothing super special, and the mask isn't really glossy at all. What we have here is a mask that has a pretty nice paint job. It looks like maybe a rub out was done, but overall you do have a few different tones here in the flesh. And then for the red itself on the exposed muscle, not only is it painted, but we do have some definition in between the muscle to give it some depth, which I don't believe we have on the original. And they actually went ahead and heavily glossed all the exposed muscle area, which is actually one of my favorite features on this mask, is the gloss on the teeth and just all the exposed muscle. It gives it just that little bit of extra depth and realism, even though it's still not a super accurate sculpture that you would want to use for something like a cosplay. Now, the paint job on the eyes I think is a little bit disappointing. I think it looks pretty bad in my opinion, but yet again, compared to the originals, those look even worse. Now, as far as comfort, this should be a big head-friendly mask. It does feel, and I'm sure it looks, a good bit larger than their other standard Freddy masks and even a majority of their standard latex masks. For breathing purposes, you do not have a hole or slit in the mouth, but the nostrils are open. And then for visibility, one change they made is that on the original, I think they did the slits on the top part of the eyes here, whereas for this one, it's just in the inside corners of the eyes, which looks like it would be a little bit more limiting visibility-wise. But yet again, this mask is one of those that you're probably going to pick up for collection purposes over cosplay purposes. Some people out there definitely might want this for a costume, but personally, I would recommend this more for something to sit on the shelf. And now I've reached the point in the video where I read you all the excerpt directly from the Trick or Treat Studios website, so let's go ahead and take a look. Here we have Wes Craven's New Nightmare Freddy Krueger mask for $69.99. So a little bit more expensive than your standard latex mask. Just like the Dawn Post Freddy, it has Elusive Concepts designs credited for the sculptor, and then it says, Trick or Treat Studios is proud to present the officially licensed Wes Craven's New Nightmare Freddy Krueger mask. From the depths of your nightmares, this incredible reissue of the Elusive Concepts Freddy Krueger mask was developed from the actual master of the mask released originally in 1993. Now cast in high-quality latex with an enhanced paint job, grab this piece of nostalgia for your costume or collection. And yeah, this is personally one I would strongly recommend for collection over costume purposes, whether it be for comfort or even just the appearance of the mask itself. You certainly can make it work, but I think there are some other better options for Freddy from Trick or Treat Studios. Personally, I will say I find $69.99 a little bit high for this mask. $59.99 seems like a much more reasonable price for this piece, but if you're still interested in adding one of these to your collection, you can pick them up directly from Trick or Treat Studios or one of the many other retailers that offers them. And with that being said, I think that about does it for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I love you all. Thank you for watching. Stay tuned for some more videos coming very soon, and I'll see you next time in your dreams.